So I just watched a very interesting sci-fi horror movie called C.A.T. This was recommended by Friendly Neighborhood Geek. I appreciate the recommendation. Yeah, C.A.T. This is an interesting one. This is a movie that came out in 1987, and to say it draws inspiration from Alien and The Thing would be an understatement. This is basically the plot of Alien, and this has been pointed out many times by many people, but it's still an interesting and pretty fun movie to watch. It is a horror movie, very creepy at times. The movie starts out with a crew on a spaceship. They're getting ready to go on this expedition for research. They're going to a distant planet. It's going to take 20 years to get there, so they go into these hibernation tanks, which preserves their bodies and keeps them alive until they reach their destination, and then they get out looking the same age as before. So anyways, they go into their tubes for 20 years, they come out, and they receive a kind of alarming message that 2 of the people on board are actually imposters. So there you go, a little bit of Among Us too. I wonder if those people saw this movie and were inspired to make the game. I don't know. So it turns into kind of a whodunit scenario where you're trying to figure out who are these imposters and why are they on the ship. But pretty soon you come to see that that's the least of anyone's problems, because there's something inhuman on the ship. There's some sort of nasty thing that's killing people, and people start dropping quickly. Everybody starts dying one by one, and it's pretty gruesome. There's some sort of alien monster on board, some sort of bacteria that infects the lungs, or so they think, but there's something really strange about this thing that's killing everybody. And I don't want to say too much to spoil anything. I think I might have said enough already, but it definitely turns into a monster movie, and it has some suspense, it has some shocking deaths, but I would say not enough. Just not enough. There are some nasty, disturbing visuals, some shocking scenes, but it's like they're over too quickly. And apparently there's a reason for this, which I'll talk about in a little bit also. How do I talk about this without spoiling it? Alright, well, I would say the movie does a good job at exploring these sort of ideas of going into space in the future and the implications involved in taking such a voyage. What would convince somebody to do such a thing where they're away for 40 years, and how does that affect somebody? There are a lot of people on board the ship, and at least the ones who survive a while kind of share their backstories over the course of the film, and we learn how everybody has some sort of issues, something they're trying to run away from, or they have some sort of reason, something nudging them to do this crazy thing, which is leave their families, leave their planet, leave their lives as they know it behind for decades at a time. It doesn't feel like decades, but when you go back, everything's different. The people you know are gone, they're dead. Society has advanced so much, and it's just like, it's a culture shock, and it's sad because you have nothing left to return to, nobody left in your life. And we learn about the backstories of these characters. What were they going through? Why did they decide to do this? And I think that was really cool that it kind of explored all of that and gave us a lot of backstory and a lot of things to think about. On the other hand, some of these characters were just a little too cliche and annoying for me. There's a young guy seen here who just seems to know everything about everything for some reason. And then the girl, she's the stereotypical damsel in distress. All she ever does is just fall down and cry at every chance she gets. So that was a little disappointing. Some of the characters were pretty weak. Some of them were rather good though, rather well written. The monster itself is very scary, it's very disturbing, and yeah, we do get those shocking horror elements. But like I say, they're just over too quickly, and I will say that about the entire movie. The entire movie is over too quickly. It's an hour and 7 minutes with the credits, and there's a reason behind this. Apparently, and this is just kind of word of mouth stuff I'm reading online, I wasn't really able to verify this, and I don't know how to see the original uncut version, but apparently the original movie was an hour and 20 minutes. But it was deemed too disturbing, too grotesque, too violent, too graphic for kids to watch. This is obviously not a children's movie, but yeah, it was too controversial to release the actual movie, so they had to cut out 13 minutes of footage. Release the Toriumi cut. Yeah, so I feel like most of the problems I have with this movie are due to that censorship. It's due to having 13 minutes of the film taken out. Going from an hour and 20 minutes to an hour and 7 minutes is just not enough time. It's not enough time to really get that involved with these characters, and then the exciting, suspenseful parts are just over way too quickly. There's not enough. I wanted more of that action, more of that suspense, more of that horror, more of those disgusting things to really make you feel emotionally invested, you know? You watch a horror movie, you're trying to feel scared or disturbed or something, so that when maybe the heroes make it out at the end, you really feel that more impacted by it all. You really want to feel that wide range of emotions, and I just feel like there wasn't enough meat in this movie, you know? What's there was cool. Yeah, it was a little bit of a ripoff of other popular movies from the era, but oh man, I just want to see that original version. And if you know where to see the original version, please let me know. That would be awesome to see. But as it is, all chopped up and censored, there's just not much left to it. I feel like it was okay. It was still a fun watch. It was a fun watch. I just wanted more, and knowing that there's more out there, it's just really sad. Maybe we'll see a new DVD release or something with the full version. That would be amazing. I guess censorship back then was just pretty crazy. I can't imagine what was in this thing, but I guess adult animation was not that widespread or widely accepted back then, and censorship laws are probably not as strict today. I have a feeling it wouldn't really be controversial if it were released today. So yeah, that was a little sad and a little bit surprising and just kind of fascinating to find out. And it really makes me want to see that full version. But as it is, the chopped up version, it was still a fun watch. I'm glad I saw it. It didn't take a whole lot of time. It's something you can watch pretty quickly, and I think you'll be glad you saw it. Especially if you haven't seen Alien, then you won't realize how much of it is taken right out of Alien. There's a lot. But still, they did put their own twists on things, and they kind of gave it their own spin, and they dove deeper into these characters' backstories, and there's a lot to like about it. This wasn't the most cutting edge animation or anything like that from 1987. I have a feeling it wasn't the biggest budget movie. The voice acting was just okay. The music was a little funny. There's this one scene where it's like super dramatic and should be very scary and suspenseful, but they have this like rocking, upbeat music playing, and I'm like, what? They're running for their lives, and it's this like happy rock song playing. That was kind of funny. It made me laugh. But yeah, man, all I can say, it's an interesting movie with an interesting story behind it. I do recommend checking it out. I watched it on YouTube. We'll see if it's still available forever or not. But yeah, I hope they come out with that Blu-ray, that DVD, that something, the uncut release. Release the Toriumi cut. Hashtag release the Toriumi cut. I think that's about all I can say without spoiling it. So yeah, tell me your thoughts on Lily Cat if you've seen it, and if you have any recommendations for me, feel free to let me know. I have a small list of recommendations from you guys. I'm going to try and get through and make videos on them, and I will happily add to it as I hear more from you guys. Thanks again to Friendly Neighborhood Geek for recommending this one. Check out his YouTube channel, guys. He does a bunch of cool toy reviews and other types of content. Go give him some love. He's a cool dude. And yeah, thanks so much for watching today. I will catch you next time. Take care.